I think I've always been described as a very independent person, but this is a whole new level of independence.
I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for all of the positive feedback and support I've gotten from my first video. I really appreciate it. So keep telling your friends, keep telling them what I'm doing, and hopefully these videos can reach people that really need it. So what I want to talk about in this video is traveling alone. When I decided to go to Europe, I initially wanted to go with some of my best friends, and I started realizing that it might take years to get friends on my schedule. I found a lot of blogs and YouTube videos about people my age that have gone on these big trips by themselves. You know, at first I was pretty freaked out and wanted friends to go with me, but now I can't wait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out some of the reasons I'm so excited to travel by myself and why I think people should travel by themselves. This is what I've figured out so far. Okay, I think one of the biggest pros for traveling by yourself is the fact that there is no compromise with your trip. I get to go where I want to go, do what I want to do, and do it in my own time. I don't have to worry about anybody else. You are on your own schedule 24/7, and if at any point you want to change, if you're ready to go to a new country or you want to stay a little longer, you don't have to consult anybody about that. I can really just do whatever I want to do. I think when you go with friends, you are constantly making sure that both of you are getting to do exactly what you want to do. And sometimes you might have to go to this museum or this attraction when you really don't care about it. And to me, that's precious time of my trip and precious money that I don't want to sacrifice. Even though I don't think it's a big deal to have to do some of those things, that's a great part of going by yourself is you can do exactly what you want to do, and you don't have to worry about hurting someone else's feelings or ruining their trip. It's all about you. This is a time that you can be completely selfish. There are certain things that I've always dreamed of seeing, and there are some things that I don't care that much about, so why waste my precious time on my trip to go somewhere I don't care about? The second thing that is probably one of the most important to me is when you're traveling by yourself, you're basically forced to meet people and get out of your box and talk to people that you never would have talked to if you had a friend there with you. I talked to my brother about this and asked him about his experiences because he was by himself the whole time. And he said that the longest time he went without people around was on the train. And he loved those times because it was his time to decompress and think about what he had just experienced. As soon as he got to the hostel in the next country, people were immediately coming up to him, asking him to hang out, asking him where he was from. I asked my brother if he was ever lonely. He said no, because he always had people around. In hostels, you meet backpackers that are doing the exact same thing that you're doing. They want to meet people because they've been traveling by themselves too. I think that there is a possibility for you to get lonely on one of these trips if you don't get out of your shell. You have to be someone sometimes that goes up to another backpacker and says, "Hi, my name is so-and-so, where are you from?" And then you can form this connection with people. You meet people, you talk to them, you get to know them, and then you have friends. You really have to get out of your comfort zone, meet these people, and I think that's one of the things that can change your life so much is just learning how to talk to people and how to create conversation and ask them about their country and be able to answer questions about yours. Another really great thing about traveling by yourself is you don't get sick of anybody. I don't know about y'all, but for me, I spend a few days around someone. I need some time apart because I get sick of people so easily. Just little quirks get on my nerves and I'm ready to either be by myself or be with different people. Thankfully, if you're traveling alone, you're not stuck with a friend for a few weeks that you're ready to get rid of, and then that ruins your trip because you're so annoyed of them. We get annoyed of our best friends. It's completely human nature to get sick of people. So that's a big thing, is you don't have to deal with that. And even when you meet friends in certain countries, you've just gotten to spend a couple days with really awesome people, and by the time you're ready to move on, they're moving on too. Another thing that I've been reading about in all of these blogs about traveling by yourself and why it's such a good thing is saving money. When you are with friends and you decide what you want to go do, sometimes you have to compromise with, okay, you really want to go here? Okay, I'll go. And that thing costs money, and that's money that you could be spending somewhere else on something that you want to do. All of these articles that I've read have said how much cheaper it is to go by yourself because you're not forced into anything. And sometimes they want to go to restaurants that you don't want to go to or maybe more expensive, and you don't want to be the wet blanket saying, oh, I can't really afford this, can we go somewhere cheaper? You get to do whatever the heck you want to do. I was talking to my brother this morning and he was telling me all the great reasons that people should travel by themselves. And I said, okay, but tell me the downsides of it. You know, of course we want to focus on all the good things. What were the sucky parts for you? And he told me a con that actually ended up being a pro, so I thought that was pretty cool. But what he told me is that when he was over there and something went wrong, and it most likely something's gonna go wrong, he only had himself to depend on, and that was pretty scary. He had his phone stolen by someone on the street, and it took him by surprise, but he didn't have his phone, and that had, you know, that was his link to maps, to talking to me and my mom. It was links to all of these things that he needed, to his hostels. We're all so dependent on our phones, and here he was in a foreign country where they didn't speak English without his communication to us. And so that freaked him out. And so he was telling me, he said, all I had was me. I knew no one. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't find my hostel. He ended up sleeping on the streets of Paris that night. I know that that part was really scary for him, but he said that after that happened, he had so much confidence in himself. He was so proud of himself for not just breaking down and getting on a plane and coming home, that he feels like he can do anything now, and I think that's pretty cool. He learned so much through one bad experience, and he said, I grew so much as a person just within that 24 hours that things were going so wrong. And then after, he was fine. He was having an even better trip than before because he knew that he could get through something like this, so the rest of his trip was going to be just fine. He'd make it home okay, and all would be well. It's such a beneficial thing to be able to go out and be independent and do things on your own. These are the reasons that I know I'm going to be okay traveling by myself, and why I kind of prefer that now. Now, friends watching this, if y'all want to come join me in a couple of countries, do it. But as for the trip as a whole, I'm going to be solo. Hopefully everything goes well. Might not, probably won't. We'll see what happens. Once again, thank you for all your support and feedback. I really appreciate it. Keep sharing these videos. Keep letting me know what you think, and hopefully some of you will start planning your trip. We'll see you next time. Because text message. Let's say that again in a non-weird way. Okay. Why can't I say that right? So I'm getting on a soapbox. I'm gonna stop now because I'll just talk about how mad people make me.